As you already know, last week Tesla hosted an event that brought several updates. But the buzz was around another launch that Tesla hinted at during the event, the much-talked-about Model 2 Redwood. This electric car has been eagerly awaited by many because it promises to be the cheapest model ever made by Tesla. Tesla is creating a car that could be the true revolution in the electric vehicle market. What's most interesting is that it won't just be a basic model, but will have several variants. There's already talk of a two-door coupe, which would be perfect for those who love a sportier design, and also a sedan for those looking for something more practical for everyday use. All of this with a very clear focus: affordability and efficiency. The idea is that the Model 2 will be the car that puts Tesla in the hands of many more people without compromising performance or innovation. The cool thing about this strategy is that Tesla is taking all its expertise in cutting-edge technology and trying to adapt it for a much larger audience. Can you imagine driving a car that has Tesla's DNA, but at a price that makes sense for someone not necessarily looking for a luxury car? And what's even more intriguing is that this Model 2 could end up sharing some design elements with Tesla's more advanced models, like the Cybercab, which has that futuristic look, almost like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. This means that in addition to being affordable, the Model 2 might end up with a design that really stands out. Now, of course, comes the interesting part. What will Tesla prioritize in the Model 2 Redwood to keep costs down without sacrificing the features that made the brand so desirable? One of the bets is that the focus will indeed be on efficiency. Tesla could heavily invest in next-generation batteries, but perhaps with less capacity to keep the price lower, while still delivering good range. And what about performance? Even being a more affordable version, it's hard to imagine the Model 2 completely giving up Tesla's famous acceleration that sets it apart from the competition. Another point that Tesla will likely capitalize on is the synergy between its different models. This means the Model 2 might end up using several parts that have already been developed for other cars in the lineup. This idea of sharing technology across vehicles could help a lot in cutting production costs, which explains how they plan to offer a car price between $25,000 and $30,000. The question is, even with these savings, will it deliver the same incredible Tesla experience we've come to know? All signs point to yes, but in a simpler and more compact way. Design is also a key piece here. The Model 2 is expected to bring that minimalist look that is Tesla's signature, but perhaps with some tweaks to appeal to a broader audience. Elements from the Cybercab, which has a futuristic aesthetic, may be incorporated, but perhaps with a softer touch to please those looking for something more conventional. This balance between the familiar and the futuristic could be what attracts a new generation of drivers to the world of electric vehicles, especially those who never thought they'd have a Tesla in their garage. The affordability of the Model 2 could also impact the market in ways far more profound than we imagine. If it really launches with a price between $25,000 and $30,000, it will shake up the foundations of the automotive industry. Traditional car manufacturers will have to scramble to keep up because a Tesla that's both cheap and efficient could even attract those who were considering buying a combustion engine vehicle. Not to mention the environmental impact. Such an affordable electric car has the potential to drastically reduce the number of gasoline cars on the road, accelerating the transition to a more sustainable future. Additionally, Tesla is betting heavily on something that feels straight out of a science fiction movie: wireless charging. The idea is to revolutionize the way we charge electric vehicles, making it more practical and convenient. Imagine parking your car in the garage and it starts charging automatically without needing to plug in any cables. This puts the Model 2 at a truly innovative level. And what's most impressive is that Tesla is aiming high. During demonstrations, they showcased a 25 kilowatts wireless charging system, which is quite powerful for something wireless, right? But what's most attention-grabbing isn't just the fact that it's wireless. It's the efficiency. Tesla is working to achieve more than 90% efficiency with this system. For an electric car, where every watt counts, that's huge. It's not just about the convenience of not having to deal with cables, but also about ensuring that the energy being transferred is used in the smartest way possible. And of course, with this level of efficiency, you can have peace of mind that charging time won't be long. Tesla is determined to ensure that this new system is not only practical, but fast enough to keep up with the busy lives of Tesla drivers. Now, if you stop to think about it, this idea of wireless charging goes beyond just making life easier for drivers. It's all about the future of autonomous cars. When you have a vehicle that can drive itself, as Tesla's models are moving towards, it makes perfect sense for the charging to be autonomous as well. Imagine a world where your car not only drives itself home, but also parks and charges automatically without you having to do a thing. It's like the car is alive, taking care of itself while you relax. And this innovation isn't just for people with garages at home. You know, Tesla is looking towards a future where wireless charging points could be spread across entire cities. Instead of stopping at a station and plugging in your car, you could simply park in a designated spot, and voila, the car starts charging by itself. This would make charging electric vehicles something almost invisible in people's daily lives. Who knows, in a few years, watching someone plug in their car might seem as odd as seeing someone adjusting an old tube TV. Another interesting detail is that even though this is new, Tesla is already quite advanced with this technology. They aren't testing a far-off futuristic concept. They're developing something that could be in cars soon. If Tesla can implement this 25 kilowatts wireless charging system with high efficiency, it's possible we'll see this technology in the Model 2. This would make the car not only affordable, but also extremely ahead of its time in terms of technology. The great thing is that wireless charging could also be a solution for those who don't like complications. Charging an electric car still seems daunting for many people. You have to find the right outlet, check the cable, and make sure it's connected properly. With this system, Tesla is practically eliminating any hassle. It doesn't matter if you're a tech expert or someone who just wants a practical and easy-to-use car. This idea of wireless charging appeals to everyone. It's not just about cutting-edge technology, but part of a much larger plan. Recently, they acquired a wireless technology company, which says a lot about the direction they're heading. The goal isn't just to make things easier for Tesla drivers, but to integrate this system into a remarkably automated ecosystem. Just imagine, you park your car on top of a special plate, and it starts charging on its own. No cables, no effort. This acquisition is no coincidence. Tesla has been flirting with the idea of fully automatic car charging for a while. And with this new company on board, they can speed up that plan. Wireless charging plates could be a key piece of the puzzle, making the process even more practical and efficient. They're aiming for a charging experience as simple as parking your car in any regular spot. And the coolest thing is that this will fit perfectly with Tesla's vision of making electric mobility more integrated into people's lives. Automation is really the central point. It's not just about the convenience of not needing cables, but about creating an ecosystem where everything works on its own. Tesla has always been obsessed with the idea of autonomous cars, and it makes perfect sense that charging these vehicles would follow the same thinking. And you know what's most interesting? This new technology isn't as far off as it seems. Tesla is already testing these systems, and with this new wireless technology company, they're making big strides toward implementing this in future models. Another point we can't ignore is the impact this automation will have on everyday life. For many people, there's still that psychological barrier of having to plan for charging an electric car, and Tesla wants to break that down completely. When you don't even have to think about charging because the car does it all by itself, it removes any friction that might exist in transitioning to electric. At its core, what they're doing is eliminating any excuse people might have for not adopting an electric car. It's a brilliant move. The fact that Tesla bought this company shows that they're thinking far beyond the present. They're not just looking at the next release, but at how cities and transportation infrastructure will be in the future. Wireless charging plates could spread across parking lots, streets, and even home garages, making charging something invisible, a natural part of the environment. And of course, this is part of Tesla's long-term strategy, not just to create cars, but a whole self-sustaining electric mobility system. What's most curious is that with this technology, Tesla is solving problems that most people didn't even know they had. Have you ever thought about what life will be like when everything is automated to this extent? The idea of a car that charges itself without you even noticing seems almost magical. But that's what they're aiming for, an experience so simple that you barely notice it's happening. When automation is this well done, it practically disappears from your life, making everything easier. Tesla is always in the spotlight when it comes to innovation, and full self-driving, FSD, in the Model 2 is one of the hottest topics. Elon Musk has been promising for years that this technology will be revolutionary, allowing the car to drive fully autonomously without any human intervention. Sounds like science fiction, right? But despite all the excitement, the truth is we still don't have enough data to ensure this promise will be fulfilled soon. People are eager, but also a bit skeptical because Tesla hasn't yet proven that FSD can operate completely independently. Of course, the advances Tesla has already made with FSD are impressive. Today, many of the brand's cars can already drive themselves on highways, park automatically, and even change lanes without the driver having to touch the wheel. But driving on a well-marked highway is one thing. Handling chaotic city traffic with pedestrians, cyclists, and other cars coming from all sides is another challenge entirely. And this is where Tesla is still falling short. The promise of a car that truly drives itself in any situation hasn't yet materialized, leaving many people feeling skeptical. As always, Elon Musk remains confident. He claims that the FSD of the Model 2 will change the world, that it will be a game changer. But at the same time, delays in development are starting to raise doubts. He's been talking about FSD as if it's only a few months away from full release, but these timelines keep getting pushed back. For those closely following the progress, it feels like the potential is enormous, but the road to get there may be longer than anticipated. And honestly, the skepticism isn't unfounded. Tesla itself has acknowledged that FSD still requires driver supervision. This means that, as autonomous as the car may seem, it's still crucial to have someone ready to take over the wheel at any moment. So, in practice, we're still far from the dream of a car that takes you to work while you nap or watch a movie. Even so, Tesla keeps pushing forward, and each new software update brings improvements that intrigue everyone about what might be next. Another point that sparks debate is safety. The FSD system relies on a combination of cameras, sensors, and algorithms to make decisions in traffic. But even with all this cutting-edge technology, there are still situations where the system can fail. For example, in low visibility conditions like fog or storms, or when there's something unexpected on the road, like construction or an accident. It's in these moments that skepticism grows, as these are situations where the car needs to be even smarter than a human to avoid problems. There's also another important issue: regulation. Even if Tesla manages to develop an FSD that works perfectly, the company still has to deal with traffic laws and regulations in each country. Some places are more open to testing and innovations with autonomous cars, while others have very strict rules. This means that even if FSD becomes technically viable, it may take time before it's widely allowed in all markets where Tesla operates. It's a technological and bureaucratic challenge at the same time. However, Tesla has an advantage that few companies can boast: the the sheer amount of data they collect. With millions of cars on the road, all connected and sending real-time information, Tesla has access to a vast amount of data on how drivers behave, how traffic flows, and what mistakes FSD still makes. This data is pure gold because it allows Tesla to constantly tweak and improve its system. Over time, this continuous improvement could be what ultimately brings FSD to a level of perfection. But, of course, the competition isn't standing still. Companies like Waymo and Cruise are investing heavily in their own autonomous driving technologies. And in some cases, they already have cars operating in certain cities without the need for human supervision. This adds extra pressure on Tesla, which, despite being a pioneer in the FSD concept, still needs to prove that its system is the most reliable and safe. So, besides dealing with internal development, Tesla is also racing against the clock to avoid losing ground in this market. What's curious is that despite all the uncertainties and skepticism, Tesla's fans continue to believe. For them, it's only a matter of time before FSD becomes a reality, and Elon Musk has this ability to keep people excited, even in the face of delays and challenges. With each new announcement, the anticipation grows, and Tesla keeps feeding the idea that the future of autonomous cars is closer than ever. Even those who question the progress can't ignore the fact that Tesla has already accomplished things many thought were impossible. The production of the Tesla Model 2 is on the radar for many people, especially since it's expected by late 2025. The idea of a more affordable, smaller Tesla with the brand's technological DNA is already enough to get fans and curious onlookers paying attention to every update. What stands out now is the fact that the Model 2 has been absent from Tesla's most recent events. Naturally, you wonder, is there a strategy behind this? Many believe so. Perhaps Tesla is avoiding any kind of interference with the sales of the Model 3, which is still a hit in the market with its more premium, yet still accessible Tesla appeal. And it makes sense, right? The Model 3 has been a very important car for Tesla, and launching the Model 2 now could confuse the public or even split attention between the two models. Tesla has always known how to manage its brand very well. And if the plan is to hold back on the Model 2's release, it's probably because it's not the right time to steal the spotlight from the Model 3. If the Model 2 appeared now with all the buzz of being a smaller and cheaper model, some people who are ready to invest in the Model 3 might be tempted to wait and see what the Model 2 has to offer. And this raises an interesting point. The Model 2 will likely be a more compact and affordable version of the Model 3. For those who were considering a Tesla but found the price a bit steep, the Model 2 is the perfect opportunity. Analysts are keeping an eye on this and believe Tesla will follow the same success formula as the Model 3, but with a smaller size and more competitive price. And of course, it will maintain that innovation and cutting-edge technology that is Tesla's hallmark. This means that even though the Model 2 is cheaper, it shouldn't fall short in terms of features. Now, imagine a more compact Tesla, but still with the same advanced software capabilities, autonomy, and that futuristic look everyone loves. Even at a lower price, the expectation is that it will have some of the main features of its bigger siblings, like over-the-air software updates, Tesla's famous autonomous driving, and perhaps even battery options with good range. All of this is part of Tesla's strategy to popularize electric cars while continuing to lead the market in innovation. What's interesting is that with the Model 2, Tesla might finally reach an audience that, until now, saw its models as somewhat out of reach. The idea of a cheaper Tesla opens the door for more people to consider an electric car from a brand that is synonymous with innovation and sustainability. And that's a big step because while the electric car market is growing, it's still a small part of the automotive industry as a whole. With the Model 2, Tesla has the chance to enter a more popular segment and expand its presence even further. However, Tesla also has to balance entering the cheaper car market without losing the premium essence it has built over the years. Launching a more affordable model is a challenge because it needs to attract a new audience without alienating the enthusiasts who love the exclusivity and status that the current models provide. Tesla has proven it can handle this type of challenge, but the Model 2 might be its biggest test yet. Will it be able to maintain the level of quality and innovation at a lower price? And what about the impact of the Model 2 on the electric car market as a whole? If the Tesla Model 2 really comes out with a competitive price, it could force other manufacturers to rethink their strategies. After all, so far, most electric cars that compete with Tesla are in the same price range or even more expensive. With the Model 2, Tesla could put enormous pressure on these companies, forcing them to innovate even more or lower prices to compete. In the end, consumers are the ones who benefit with more quality electric car options at more affordable prices. Now, going back to the absence of the Model 2 in recent Tesla events, it's hard not to think that this is part of a well-calculated marketing move. Elon Musk has always been a master at creating anticipation and keeping the public eager for what's to come. By holding back information about the Model 2, he's increasing curiosity and speculation, which only helps keep the car in conversations and discussion forums. When the Model 2 is finally revealed, the impact is almost certain to be huge because Tesla has been able to build suspense around the model. This also shows how Tesla is thinking long-term. The Model May 2nd not be ready now, but when it is released, it will likely arrive at a strategic moment, perhaps when the company feels the market is ready for a cheaper and more accessible electric car. Meanwhile, the Model 3 continues to play its role as Tesla's flagship car in this mid-price range, keeping the company competitive and in the spotlight.